gap, and okay, thank you. Growth model, I go to solve actual growth model, gap analysis, and Greiner'S growth model. I hope we can able to finish the three before our time runs out today. That one as it may be, you're welcome back to another session. As I just mentioned, now the last class, we were able to discuss Porter's value chain, how it is possible to growth wealth within the strength of the entity, not outside the flow of the environment. So we discuss how the value is created, the primary activities and secondary activities, and which one can you leverage on as an entity. Then we discuss the basic life cycles of products, where we see the challenges of product at each stage and what is their next sales volume look like. So we have from introductory to growth to maturity and to decline. And we're able to actually exercise what are the challenges facing growth life cycle model. Then from there, we move to the last one, which is the BCG, Boston Consulting Group. That's why we say the calculation aspect, we are going to test them in the next class. Today, we are going to start growth model with Ansof's growth matrix. Ansof's growth matrix, or they call it growth vector analysis. Growth vector analysis, or they call it product mission matrix. Any of the name that you can encounter with is talking about the same thing. That is the model from Igor Ansof. The model from Igor Ansof. What is it targeting? It's about growth of entity. According to Ansof, that is Igor Ansof, in 1957, he said, when an entity is planning a growth, the growth of an entity must be seen by investors and other stakeholders. The growth must be seen by other stakeholders, especially the investors. Meaning that you must see the size of your growth in you. Whether you are growing wider, you are growing taller, you are growing fatter, or you are looking older, as the case might be, it must be seen. That is what Anson is trying to say. So meaning that entity that finances either by debt or equity, some people supply the fund. Either it's financed by debt or it's financed by equity. Some people supply the fund. If it's funded by debt, meaning that you have investor outside waiting for their interest or profit, as the case might be. But if it is by equity, they are waiting for their dividends, or at least increase in their share price or increase in their share numbers. So they must see what they are investing in. That is what Angrove is saying. Meaning that if you are in one product, whether goods you are selling or services, and you say we have grown, let's see the volume of your growth. Your sales have increased within the same product from 200 million to 250 million, 300 million. You are growing. We can see that you are growing. Or we are seeing your product in many places now, other than where we know you to be before. You are growing. Or you've moved from one product to another product to another product. Here we can see the growth. That is why it goes off identify two factors to measure growth. He identified two major factors to measure growth. Factor number one, market. Factor number two, product. Factor number two, market. Factor number two, product. Either you take market as the whole thing, old knowledge, you know, in those years in your economics, marketing, or commerce, they will say market is a place where people buy and sell. If you take it like that, if you take it like that, you are talking about geographical availability of space for somebody to sell. But in the new era definition, we see market as an arrangement between buyer and seller to exchange their products for a commission or for a consideration. Now, meaning that you can make more sales without living where you are and you reach other places. That's like internet marketing, internet sales, like that, like that. So meaning that the market or the product can be existing or new, just like we have high and low. In this model, we are going to use existing product and new product, or existing market and new market. Existing product and new product, existing market and new market. Now, we have our 4 quadrant in the matrix of 2 by 2. 4 quadrants, meaning that you have 4 strategies. We have 4 strategies under Ansof's growth matrix, or we call it growth vector analysis, or you call it product mission matrix. So as we have our high and low, we have existing and new. On the vertical axis, if you check the one you have on your screen, on the vertical axis, we have the market, and by the top, on the bottom left, for both of them, we have existing. Top left, we have new, that is for market. And the bottom right, we have new for products. This one gives us the 4 conditions of strategies that we can use for expansion, for growth, as far as Ansof's is concerned. Now, combination of any of these two, either market or product as existing or new, give us any of these 4. And we're going to do just our regular arithmetic before we continue analyzing them. Before we do that, let's mention those ones. We have market penetration, we have market development, we have product development, and we have diversification. The diversification can be concentric or conglomerate. Diversification can be concentric or conglomerate. Now, how do we go with our arithmetic? We said existing market plus existing product. We need market penetration strategy. For an entity to sell more of existing products in existing market, the strategy you need to use is market penetration. Meaning that existing products plus existing market equates to market penetration. That's the first strategy in one of the quadrants. The second strategy, we'll see it as existing product plus new market. Existing product plus new market give us market development. Market development. The next one is new product plus existing market. New product plus existing market give us product development. Give us product development. And lastly, new product plus new market give us diversification. I should not forget, diversification can be concentric or conglomerate. It can be concentric or conglomerate. Do we get those arithmetical formula right?
Sir,
Hello?
can you please recap, sir? Can you please recap, sir?
Okay, good. So I want to get it right from there. We said we have 4 strategies under growth vector analysis. For us not to mix up, in case they give us a matrix that is different from how we feel our own, they can carry this existing to top instead of having it in bottom like this. So let's get it right. When you have existing products plus existing markets, you have market penetration. Existing product plus existing market, you have market penetration. We have market penetration. But you have existing product but plus new market. existing product plus new market. That's why you have market development. We have market development. So the next one, you have new product plus existing market. New product plus existing market. Then you have product development. New product plus existing market. You have market development. I mean, new product plus existing market, you have product development. Sorry. Then the last one is new product plus new market, meaning that both of them are new. That's what we refer to as diversification. Diversification. And I said diversification can be concentric or conglomerate. It can be concentric or conglomerate. Then you can choose them now one by one to analyze and see how it works. You can take them one by one and see how it works. Now, market penetration. Another name for this is protect and build strategy. Protect and build strategy. Meaning that you have a particular environment, just like this Agbero or Monile. Each of them have the area they control and no one can enter to do anything, especially if they don't take permission from them. So that is the strategy that market penetration is using. You want to sell more of the same product in the same place, meaning that you need to work a lot. Growing in the same place with the same type of product is a very difficult thing. So you need to actually create a barrier for nobody else to enter, just like what we discussed under Portals by Forces. Nobody should enter here. Now, they said that this particular strategy is only good in two conditions. Condition number one, when the product is just growing. The product is just growing at a growth stage, people will be buying more. And two, when the market has not reached saturation. When the market has not reached saturation. Meaning that when the market reaches saturation, what we call the law of diminishing return will come for marginal utility. That is why they said it is difficult when the market has reached maturity, or when the growth has slowed down, or is even coming down. However, to get this done, Philip Kotler, he said entities should use aggressive marketing strategy. Aggressive marketing strategy to enjoy market penetration. Have you heard about Kotler before? Philip Kotler? Anybody? Philip Kotler. Just we mentioned about Igor Ansof'S now. You have Philip Kotler. We've mentioned about Michael Porter about 3 or 4 on period 4 models. Anyway, whether or not, Philip Kotler is a professor of marketing. They even used to call him Professor Emeritus. He's after his credit over 80 books on marketing, consulting, economics, basically. But his area of expertise, people know him with across the globe, including all this popular business school in US. Okay, let me give them to that. So, you know about marketing. He said entities should use these 3 strategies as a way of aggressive marketing, so as to enjoy market penetration. So as to enjoy market penetration. So, he said you should use a strategy to influence your existing customer to buy more of your products. Influence the existing customer to buy more of your product. How do you do that? We are always used to this anyway. We used to actually hear something like buy 2 and get 1 more free. buy two and get one free, meaning that you are getting three for make out of two. Intentionally, you only want to buy more. One. You only want to buy more. One. Now, when you hear that when you buy two, get three, you buy for two. Notwithstanding, if it's going to dish out more for less, he has increasing the sales volumes automatically. That is one way of doing it. So when you induce your existing customer to buy more of your product, like in promotion, they used to actually do. You are doing promo. The second strategy, say that to encourage or influence or induce those who have not patronized the product before to be patronizing your product. Now, when you say product, it does not mean that you have a name. Product have different versions. I don't want to mention them, but let me use this as an example now. In the paste industry, we are used to brush, toothpaste industry. We have Maclean. Do you see I heard about Maclean again? Maclean, Close Up. Which one do you use yourself? Which other one?
Colgate.
Orabi. Thank you, Orabi. And so on and so forth like that. Now, let's say one of those one is your own product. Then you know somebody or some people that in their life, they never used toothbrush before. Talking about toothpaste. What they use is chewing stick. You see, I feel like that. And they know that they have different type of them. If you had them, you have this product, just go and chew this particular one. Now you can approach those particular people, advertise to them that, oh boy, life have gone beyond chewing stick. How will you be chewing stick when you're not an animal? Abba. Instead of doing that now, go and buy. You mentioned the name of your product, for instance, now, go and buy Colgate. Don't tell them to go and buy toothpaste because you want to market your own. Go and buy Colgate. When you get to the market, you ask, do you have Colgate? Because you say, do you have toothpaste? They will give you anyone. But you want to sell your own products. If you actually ask me or you, in the last 20 years past, if you have been using toothpaste that particular time, Colgate is not popular in Nigeria. You only know about Maclean, then Close Up, Shikena. You only know about Maclean or Close Up. Now, some marketing system actually brought Colgate to the forefront of everybody now. Anyway, that's another strategy you can use. Those are not in that particular product. They are not in the industry as a consumer before. Pull them to your own. Just like some people that do evangelism. They say, I said, God, I said, which church or which one do you ask me? They will mention the name of their own. We have plenty church, we have plenty mosque. They will mention the name of their or their society. So that's the same thing you use in that particular strategy. That's strategy number 2. Then you can induce the customer of your competitor to patronize your own. Even in industry, you see people poking from the staff of their competitors. I know when one of the GSM came to Nigeria, the one that came last, I don't want to mention the name. He poked from the 2 major existing one. Okay, how much are I giving you? 800,000. Don't worry. As marketing director, I will give you 1.2 plus a car. The one will leave. You should not forget, he already generated a lot of experience from where he did before. He just pulled them to the stone. However, as far as that one is good, is the most dangerous among them. Because if you slap somebody, don't expect him to fold the hand on his chest. You slap him back. Like, was it yesterday? You did for yesterday? I was somewhere. Old woman was talking to one young woman like that. As play. The thing just go violent. The old woman slapped the young man. The one does not. He doesn't wait. Immediately, he give the older one 2 back. This is the same thing. If you poke somebody else's customer, be ready that the person will go to poke your own customer too. It's it for that. That's why I say, though it is simpler because you already know them as they use this one. Come and buy my own too now. They will not leave you alone. It's one of the dangerous marketing strategy, especially when the market is highly competitive. But however, to enjoy market penetration, that is what we call build and protect, or protect and build, as the case may be. You need this aggressive marketing strategy. That's why they call it aggressive. It's not an easy thing. Okay, when you come to Greiner'S strategy, you see that it will be difficult at times to grow within yourself, by yourself, and for yourself. It will be difficult. So that's why I say, before you achieve this, you are selling the same product in the same environment, you want to sell more. You need to work better than others. So anyway, that is that for the first strategy. That is market penetration. Market penetration. Then the next one is market development. The one that said you have existing market, but you establish new, you have existing product, you establish new market. Each of these one have their pros and cons. People might be afraid to invest more in other products, and the product fail in the first entrance of the market. It happens like that. Even the best brand in this world of today, for a number of decades, has introduced a product to the market and the product fail. So when some people are afraid of that, they don't want to invest in a new product, but they can take the existing product to another place to sell, or they use another channel to reach another places. So when you have that, mean that you want to sell more of your existing market, of your existing product, but you take it to new market. That is market development, because you develop another market, not another product. What you develop is another market, not another product. That's why I call it existing product, but new market. Now, in new market, the same professor emeritus, Philip Kotler, he actually suggested two ways to achieve this. You can move to a new geographical area completely to sell. Maggi, the real Maggi, the one we know as Maggi, that's a star. What existing strategically in the southwest before specifically. To increase their sale, they move across the Niger to come to the north. I think I mentioned in one of our class that it took it a very great deal, to the extent that it will give people the Maggi and give them money to go and buy something to cook with it. Meaning that you can move from where you have before to another place. For instance, Nigeria Bottling Company in Nigeria they are bottling in Oyo State, Ibadan, Asijire specifically. About 10 years back or thereabout, they moved one of their plants to Abuja in Edu. So that is meaning that you can actually move your product to other places. If you check, the first time I saw, is it Bonvita or Milo warehouse in Kano, I was marveled. So the one I was seeing in other MDAs, they are very small. Because they want to sell more, they move those products across to the north. So it means that you want to sell the same product in another environment, which you call market. That is one of them. Another one is that you can use other channel. You can use other channel. Like you just mentioned the other time, you can use your online channels. You don't want to move your product like that. You don't want to get another warehouse or a store, giant store to be called. You don't want to pay for that. You can actually use the one, and it's very popular anyway nowadays. You are in Nigeria, you are buying something from China, India, like that, or UK or US. In UK, they have which one is that? I know in US they have Amazon. In China they have Temu. We have, which one is popular in Nigeria? Self? Jumia, Konga. Those are one that came from Jumia, Konga, the rest of them like that. So you can use those channels. And in some circumstances, where you move either through other channel or to move to another geographical environment, you might need to do something to adjust a little to the product, either the container or the content. For example, do we know what is one now? How is going this particular product? This something bitter. Who remember the name, self? In can like this. Something.
Yo bitter.
No, this one they used to just like regular beverages. I used to take it that particular time.
Is it coffee, sir? Coffee?
It's not a coffee. It's beverage. They used to sell that like that. Looking the can used to look green. It's leaves. They used to do it. Anyway, if I remember that time, what I want to say is that when they want to cross to Niger, to the north here now, they need to introduce one that is zero. Because you know it's basically alcohol. It's alcoholic base. Now they say they have the zero on. So that way you can be able to cross to the north. It does not mean that when they are bringing the zero one, you don't have other ones. I used to see other one in Abuja. For them to actually cross, they do something like that. That is a way to say, okay, let's introduce something different a little to be accepted in the other region based on the policies in other region or the socio-economic environment in other region. So that is for the market development. The third one is when we are introducing new products in their existing markets. Some people, they don't want to miss the environment they were before because they understand the politics, they understand this risk, they understand the opportunity in that environment. They want to go. They want to do is that to sell more, to have more sales, they introduce more product. That we call product development. Because instead of you developing another market, you don't know how it's going to be, you introduce another product. That is product development. Now, in product development, as I mentioned the other time, there is risk of huge investment to do research, testing, promo, advertising before the product started bringing money. So people are always afraid to go into that. Or the fear of, is this product going to be accepted? We mentioned some of these big companies that they threw some product to the market and they failed. Okay, what about anything that does it? You see that one product, another product, another product. There are some encouragement or inducement that serve as incentive for them to do that. It's not everybody that can actually launch new product. We are still mentioning this particular popular beverage industry now. They came into Nigeria with one or two, Coke and Fanta. Now you can count many after that. Sprite, Schweppes. Now they took over Limca. They have Five Alive and some other ones like that. They will be introducing them after the other. Now these are the incentives. What encourage them to do? Or what can encourage company to introduce more products? Number one, strong brand name. If you have a selling name, you can push anything to the market. The name will do enough marketing for you. That is why you see those products are coming. If I can mention now, who produced Eva water?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Do you know any company that produces Coca-Cola? Do you know any other company that produces Coca-Cola? Do you know Eva with other company before?
No.
Meaning that what markets Eva is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola took over Eva from another company, just like it took over Limca from this company in Anambra State. Limca is originally produced by a company in Anambra State before Coca-Cola took it up. So Limca himself became popular in Nigeria because it's been marketed now by Coca-Cola. The same thing with Eva. Eva was not known before Coca-Cola put it up. That is number one.
Even Hollandia you got, sir.
So the same thing that by Chief Itaba?
Yes.
Good.
No,
So meaning that
yes.
Hollandia is. Hello?
No, Hollandia you got. That's Coca-Cola
Okay,
took over.
They are took over now, ba?
Yes, sir.
Thank God I'm hearing this one too now. So meaning that a brand name sells. That is why even in Nigeria, you and me, though I didn't do it, I used to do it because nobody will know myself. You don't know who I am? You know who I am? He's telling you that his father is somebody. Mean that there's a name that can sell. Don't touch her. His daughter also so personal. There's the same thing with products. When you have a name that can sell, you can bring out, just say produced by. That's what you used to see. You see, produced by, marketed by. Because those names can sell. Even in the film industry, you want to see somebody that is known in that industry that is part of the actors. The same thing in football industry. Majority of you actually are fans of many football clubs. There's a name you want to ring in the fika. The field will be hot today. So that is what brand name does in iteration of product to the market. So when you have a good brand name, you'll be encouraged to produce more products and people will accept it in the market, at least vis-a-vis reasonable assurance. Now, another one is when you have strong design team or strong research and development team, whichever you have. Now, product can actually come out when you know people, no matter how good the quality is, the container at times sells more than the content. Container can sell more than the content. That is what design is all about. If you see Ayonda, when they came back in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2020s now, they didn't come like how they come in 80s. You see I don't know how they said this design that Benz actually copy after. You have a streamline by the side. Now they are continue selling more. I was moved by particular water. I don't see that water again. In Abuja, yeah. The bottle is like, what do they call this now? It just, that's how you turn a cane. Just look like with those arc. I was marveled. Give me one. Unfortunately, I did not see that water around again. So the sign can actually induce somebody to buy something. And that's what they actually do in packaging. So when you have pick, okay, okay, it's swept, okay, swept so like that. It can go a long way to get things done. The next one, if a particular entity is responding to a strategy, either technology, either design or anything, for other entity, they can produce more. You have a competitor who do something to gain the market, the other one will respond in doing a related things. Let me come like this. When dollar goes up and price of things have started going up, 50 cl pet bottle of Coke moved from 100 to 150. And you know the next competitor now, Pepsi. Pepsi does not move from 150. It doesn't move from 500. It remains at 100. Within a month, Coca-Cola produced 60 cl. Why? You see a drop in the patronage of their product. Why? People see Pepsi as cheaper than Coke. He said, okay, now that one, no problem. Then he introduced 60. You see how they write big boy. Big boy. They say putting names on people. The people came back. They came back. Okay. With that, Coca-Cola introduced a smaller one too. When they introduced this is a smaller one. Because women especially, they cannot finish 50 cl. I'll be 60 cl. I don't know any of you here. Naturally, women cannot finish at once 60 cl of Coke. Then they do another one small. Huh?
Aminat can finish it.
Okay. I need to see you.
Anyway.
I can finish it too. If it is chill.
Chill bar. Coca-Cola don't catch it.
Everybody can finish it too. Almost everybody.
People are good here then. Okay. That's one of their special things. They produce 25 cl too. Meaning that you don't want to go up, they drop that one to 100 naira. So that's why I now started competing with Pepsi. That's what we want to do. Pepsi to produce a smaller bottle, 25 cl, but not in the pet bottle, the whole glass. They call it 15 naira. That means if you do me, I will do you. Those things came because the competitor is doing the same thing. So more product can come into the environment because they are doing it. Like what they say, when Coca-Cola hijack ever, they are producing water. What does Pepsi do? They produce Aquadana. It's all Aquafina of Aquadana. They produce water too. Both of them are not in water industry before. Only soft drinks. They always say, okay, Coca-Cola said, what is bad in this? The water we use for our drinks, we already distilled them now. Just to buy plastic bottle and put, no problem. They took over ever they are selling. You cannot use one to bobo us. Then Pepsi 2 went to production of bottled water. And that is Aquadina or Aquafina or Aquadina, I don't remember. It's one of these Aquafi something. So those water cans, another product can be because competitors to have the same thing. So that is what this one.
We can't hear you, sir.
I thought I was the only person.
Okay, I think his network and will join us shortly. Right, he will join us shortly before we go on break. Please let's exercise patience. Right, to join us shortly. Thank you. Okay, while we are waiting for Mr. Maruf to join the class, right, it is almost time for our break, as usual, 15-minute break, right? So, and tomorrow, by God's grace, right, we shall continue with our lecture, the financial part of it, right, the financial management part of it, which is on bond valuation, right? So I believe that every one of you actually have your material because we'll be looking at some examinable questions. We'll pick it up from the forward rates. We'll quickly check last diet question under the bond valuation. Then we'll still move further to do more questions, to solve more questions under bond valuation. So in case you have question, right, while we are waiting for Mr. Maruf to join, right, based on what we have done so far, if you have question, you can quickly unmute your mic and ask your question. Do we have anyone that have question?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
And please, I'm just joining for the first time, and I want to ask which topic was he treating?
Treating the strategic management part of SFM. So this topic is on model, Ansof's growth model. Ansof's
Okay,
growth
sir. Thank you.
matrix. Yes. Thank you. Busayo.
Good evening, sir. Please, I don't really understand the growth rate in convertible bond when it's not given under bond valuation.
We did something like that under cost of capital now. So do we do something like that
Yeah,
under
but it's
cost of
not still really clear.
you have to it will be clear, don't worry. When we take there's one question under bond valuation. I think we're supposed to take that question under cost of capital. Right. So when it is not given, you have to determine the growth rate. That is what we call the question may tell you to determine the minimum growth rate. Right. You have to use that formula of CV equal to VE open bracket 1 plus G, then the close bracket N raised to power N R, right? So all of that information will be given to you. The convertible value will be given. The conversion ratio, the numbers of years will be given to you. You just have to determine the growth rate. However, in a case whereby the convertible value is not given, you have to determine the convertible value using that formula to determine the convertible value. All of this, we may touch a question that relates to that, right, in bond valuation. And if time did not permit us to touch the question, right, during our intensive class, right, we'll look at that part as well. Do you understand, Sarah?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, do we have any other one? Any other question?
Sir, evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
So I've never received any new materials apart from the first three sent to my Gmail, sir. And I messaged the girl who has not replied me since yesterday.
Okay, let me quickly do a brief introduction, right? Next Gen Professional Associates, we are made up of three partners, right? Christy, Mr. Ebenezer, and I are the partners, right? So for material, right, Christy, she's the one handling anything that has to do with material. And Olaiton, I think what you are not getting is that you will not receive any mail when material is updated. You can't receive any mail. You just have to go to your email, your Google Drive, right? Your Google Drive. You can't receive any mail from the first one that you've received that they've shared this document with you. So you just keep checking, refreshing your drive. Or do we have anyone who, even this material here, is in that drive now? Right? This material is in the drive. If you check other models, it's actually there. So I think what you are not getting is that you will not receive in Google Drive, you will not receive another mail when we update material. You just need to go to your mail, go to your Google Drive, reload it, you will see it there. Or do we have anyone who is still having same issue with her? Do we have? Do we have? No, I guess no. Right. All right, Tom. Are you there?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Do you understand that? Can you check it now?
I should check my Gmail, right?
Yes, from your Gmail, go to your drive.
Okay.
Your Google Drive. Or
Hello.
Yeah, I'm with
okay.
you, sir.
Okay. No, don't worry. Maybe later after the class. Mr. Ibrahim.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think it's network. Sorry, we have before we break for 10 minutes. What was the last thing I was explaining?
You're explaining the technological development.
Okay. You that a product of your competitor, you want to respond, or it is the demand of the consumers. Your customer wants more. That's why you are producing more. Majority of this long chain of stocks, the one we call supermarket, it didn't start with selling everything. You don't know history of any, I know history of SAD in some form. What is selling 2002 that I know SAD, they sell, this thing we call provision, soap, biscuits, something like that. Then plus Ankara plus rice, chicken in zone 4. Go to Sahara at the end of the stores now. They sell all. You have provisions, you have baby care, you have kitchenware, you have electronics, you have furniture, everything you can think of. Even they sell live stocks. The one time I saw duck. You know, I'm not sure the display physically is human being. I don't know whether they're doing that. Anyway, so why do they do that? Because me and you want to enter a particular place and buy everything. We don't have time to be going through each of the shop and market again like before. You enter a particular store, you want to buy everything as in shop stock. I mean, one-stop shop, they call it back. So that is why they too they are selling all those things. Everything you want, just like Chinese. About how many decades back? I think that every home in the world must have a Chinese product. Whatever you want in your life is you can get it from China. Whatever you want to use in your home, Chinese have it. So meaning that you can be encouraged to produce more as an entity because your consumer or customer want them. So people will say something, say, if not because I don't want my customer to go, this thing does not give me profit. It's like that. So part of the thing that can actually encourage people to introduce more product into the market is to have customer who request for more, Anyway, let's pause this one here and do the last one before we go off or a short break. Diversification. Diversification is introducing new product in a new environment. Dangote, majority of his companies before, they are across Niger or above Niger. Dangote cement in Benue, in Obajana, Kogi State, flour in the north, spaghetti in the north, sugar in the north. Now, if cement is here, it moves cement to another land. That would be a market development. But now when you go to Southwest with different thing entirely, Lagos refinery, petroleum is not part of his product before. And Southwest was not where he launched any product there before. So when they moved the refinery to the Southwest, another geographical environment, another product entirely, that is diversification. It's most challenging among all of them, but it's one that actually hedge risk more. The one that hedge risk more. Now you said if it is in the same line with what it produces before and sells before, we call it a concentric diversification. The new product now relate to the existing product, just like what Coca-Cola is doing. They are all drinks. You consume the same thing. Dangote rice, Dangote spaghetti, they are in the same lane. You consume the same how. But you cannot see the way you consume flour. You want to consume cement too. Though most of them are bagged, they are in powder form. They are not the same products. So that is different product entirely. Just like what we mentioned now, going to producing petroleum. It's not the same thing what he produced before. That is what we call conglomerate. So if there is a relation between the existing product and the new product, we call it concentric. But if there are differences, we call it conglomerates. So conglomerates are called vertical relationship in some languages, while concentric is seen as horizontal or related diversification. Conglomerate is vertical diversification, while concentric is horizontal diversification. Horizontal means that they are related. So you can call them related diversification or concentric diversification. So that is the area of need. Let's pause here. Let's pause here now. So in the next time is when we meet, we are going to start with gap analysis. Luckily, gap analysis use the same strategy like what we have under Ansof's growth model. So
All right,
in the
sir.
next thing we are going to meet. God's grace.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for the lecture. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we need to go on short break. Right. We'll be back at 7:15. Right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hi, sir.
Okay. All right, Alpha, have you checked?
Yes, I've checked it. Thank you so
Okay,
much. I've
did
received it,
this?
sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you
That's
so
fine.
much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very plenty. Apology for that break in transmission.
Yes, sir.
It was data challenge.
No problem, sir.
Okay, now. So we're able to conclude with okay. No, what you go this one not on here. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Now we conclude with Ansof's growth model or growth vector analysis, or we call it product mission matrix with diversification, which we say can be conglomerate or can be concentric. It is concentric where the new area the entity diverted to have relationship with what they are doing before. But if it doesn't have relationship, they call it conglomerate. Now we can move to gap analysis. As I mentioned the other time, the lock in gap analysis is that it uses the same strategy as an Ansoff. So mainly what we are going to discuss here is what they call gap itself. What they call gap itself. So we are going to deal with target, expected, and current position. The gap is between the expected and the target within the current position of the entity. Now, when we say gap, in English, what does gap mean? Anybody? Any guy can suggest what gap means? In English, gap means what? Hello?
It means space.
Thank you. Space. Different between 2 points. So another thing, gap means that, okay, the space between where you want to be and where you're likely to be. Where you want to be and where you're likely to be. That is what we call gap. So here, now, if you check the diagram you have on the screen, you have a place they call today or now, they call it, or present. You have a target. Then you have expected. The target is up, the expected is down, but within the same time. But the achievement is not the same thing. So when we say gap analysis,
We are not
gap analysis is there to try to explain or evaluate the difference between the position a business is trying to attain, where a business wants to be, where is projected to be at a particular point in time, then where it's likely to find itself in order to meet its objective if it does not have a change in strategy or additional strategy. What we are saying is that you have a company have a target. This is in the next 5, 6, 7 years. This is where you want to be. You want to achieve a particular level of profitability from 10 million per annum to 17 million per annum. So in the next 5, we want to be in 17 million per annum, for instance. But today we are in 10 million per annum. That 17 million per annum cannot just happen like that, like magic. Something must happen. Either you increase your sales volume or you increase your sales price. No, that is a growth. So if you didn't do that, time will not wait for you. Whether you develop or you don't develop, time will not wait for you. You want to become a chartered accountant after primary 6. Somebody sitting down, like some of us then. After secondary school, we think we are enjoying ourselves. 4 years, we don't go anywhere. Our mates that don't pass, they have finished their business before we start. They finish their BSc before we start. So because time will not wait. Then after BSc or HND, you still waiting. No, I don't want to go into ICANN now. That one, you want to become chartered accountant, the time will not wait for you. The same thing with entity. So the difference between where you're supposed to be, which is a target, and where you're likely to find yourself at the same period is what we refer to as gap. So to block that gap, you need any or combination of this strategy you just mentioned now to fill that gap. You want to grow, you need to sell more of your product. Whether you sell it the same place, or you sell it another place, or you sell another product the same place or different place, you have to do something to get more. That's what gap is trying to sell about. So we say gap is the difference between the position a business wants to be by the end of a planning period in order to meet its overall objectives. And the position his entity is likely to find itself if it does not have a new strategy or change in strategy. So meaning that you must add one to the existing strategy or you even change it completely. If you didn't do any of them, you are able to sell more, you're going to be in the same place. That's why you see in the diagram, you can see that by the y-axis, we have profit. By the horizontal axis, you have year. So year is the time, year will be going. Let's say where you have now is year 1. And your profit at that particular place, let's say it's 1 million. So you are thinking that by the year 7, you're supposed to be having like 10 million. That's what you have. In the area, you have the target. If you draw the target now, by that point, you draw it back to the y-axis, where you have like 10 million. Now, if you're using any of these strategies, combine them, you'll be moving up. But if there's no change in strategy, that line will continue to go like that on the end of the period. That's what it refers to as expected. So the difference between that target and expected, what they call gap. And to fill the gap, that's why you have those same strategies: diversification, market development, product development, and market penetration. Shikena. Gap analysis does not go beyond that. It does not go beyond that. So meaning that the same thing we actually explain other Ansof's can fit in directly to this one under gap analysis. Unless you have a question on that, otherwise we will move to Greiner'S growth model. You have any question on that? Okay. I assume that we don't have problem with that. We can go to another growth model, which is Greiner'S growth model. Greiner'S growth model. Now, in Greiner'S growth model, it's not talking about product or profit. The growth in Greiner'S growth model is not about profit or product. It's about the organization itself by structure and size. Because when you are growing in product, you are selling more, meaning that your employees will be growing more. As you are growing wider in geographic environment, you're adding more resources, including men, machinery, money, and materials. The size of the organization is becoming bigger, meaning that at any point in time, the management structure might not be able to withstand the current size. Just like when you are single, those of you that have gotten married, your home room environment is not going to be the same thing when you got married. And when you got married, before you started having children, that environment will be different from when you started making children. You cannot meet anything you place where you place them when you have children at home. So the same thing with anything that want to grow. So the growth will be seen with a problem. Now, according to Larry E. Greiner, in 1970, he said that entity will be growing in sizes through series of phases. When the phases is established and it grows to a particular extent, there will be a trouble. The increase in size will be bigger than what the plan is all about. They call that one a crisis, because the entity is unable to manage its current size. Then, when you're able to solve that problem, entity will continue to be growing like that until you reach another place when the growth is more than the existing size. We need to change the structure system again, like that. Just like a typical human being, the rate that a child will grow, a child will grow between age 1 to 7. How can they use the same size of soup for 1 year? You need to change that one, then you grow. Change that one, you grow. Change that one, you grow. That is in size. The same thing with the trouble, the crisis they will face in changing from one level to the other. I don't know where many of you actually went to kindergarten, play group, nursery, and primary. I didn't attend those. Now, how do they test them in primary, in the nursery or KG? They call it nursery school. How do they test them? They just play. They will ask questions, no written. In primary school, you written something small. You cannot compare the exam in common entrance with that of WAEC. Is it possible? They're not the same thing. So meaning that as you are finishing a level with a crisis, you grow to another one bigger. You continue growing. GS1, GS2, GS3. When you do GS3, you will find a more difficult question than what you have in common entrance because you can cross to the next growth. When you finish that one, I say, okay, now you are now SS1. You think it's better. I'm now a man on my own. Like one of my children will say, now that I'm growing, I'm in primary 3 now. I'm using pencil and biro. Before I was using biro, she's happy. Now they're using biro and pencil. So after the GS3 exam, SS1, SS, when you go to SS3, you want to move another land entirely. You are a bigger student now. When you write WAEC, okay, you pass. And you can't enter university like that. There's what they call jump or UTME. That question is more difficult than what you actually seen. Like that. Then you face your BSc. Now you want to write NICA. You know you cannot compare what you write in NICA and the exam you write in universities. You two know you cannot compare them. So meaning that the next problem will be more difficult because the next growth is bigger than the growth you were existing before. So in 1917, Greiner identified that companies across the world then they grow from phase 1 or stage 1 to stage 5 at that particular time. He said there are 5 stages that entities have passed through before they reach where they are in that year. Unfortunately, majority of the literature we have around does not identify that in later age, there's another model that he brought as growth level 6. There was another phase he brought later, subsequently, they call phase 6. But we check it, I think, unless this new model they want to set for even Emily Wolf too, that 6th level was not there. We are going to discuss the 6th level here before we go. Now, we have on the curve still have the 5, but we explain the 6 down. So he said from series of phases, there are series of crises that led them the growth to the second phase. Now, I want to believe you have seen the chart very well. On our vertical axis, we have the size of organizations that is growing from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. This one does not have number.
We can't see the diagram.
Hey, okay. Can you please expand it, Mr. Coordinator? On the y-axis, vertical axis, now we have the size of the organizations. A growing one, let's say it's wider 1, 2, 3, or 10, 20, 30, 40 to 100. Then by the horizontal axis, we have the time or year or age. There you have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Not phase 4 of Kubo. For people in Abuja, they use phase. So the phase is talking about the level of growth. Now you will see something like zigzag there. That is where you have the crisis. And each of the crises have a level. Luckily, majority of us understand organization structure. Two of us. Organization structure. Hello. If my assumption is wrong, let me know. Okay. I don't hear anybody saying no. Okay. So we have 5 phases here. We are going to hide the 6th one. So you have phase 1. That is phase of growth through creativity. Phase 2, phase of growth through direction. Phase 3, phase of growth through delegation. Phase 4, phase of growth through coordination. 5 is growth through collaboration. Then the 6th is growth through extra organizational solution. Growth through extra organizational solution. So you can have CDD, CC. CDD, CC. That is creativity, direction, delegation, coordination, and collaboration. The last one is E, extra organizational solution. That is phase 6. Phase 6. You can put it on your home when you print them. But then that act that go diagonal up, the first crisis of leadership. Second crisis, that of autonomy. The third crisis, crisis of control. The fourth crisis, crisis of red tape. Phase 5, you see crisis here, you see crisis of, you see dot, question mark, question mark. Greiner'S was saying at that particular time, there was no crisis because NC have not grown beyond that. But in the later half, you have crisis of internal growth, which led to the sixth phase. After the sixth phase now, there's no any other growth challenge up to now, except if AI will introduce another one. Because development of in technology and strategy led to growth of entity too. We are going to discuss them one by one. Now we see how the phases. Now we say phase 1. That's a period of growth through creativity. Period of growth through creativity. At the initial of every business or company, it's always one man at the end of the affairs, the beginning of the affairs, who think of what to do and how to do them and where to even do them. He's the same person who is the MD CEO. He's the same person as the marketing director, the same person as financial director, the same person as the production director. Everything on his head, the head will be boiling. That is the first place. So meaning that at that particular level, now I was asking whether we are acquainted with organization structure. The structure that work that particular period, organogram that work, they call it entrepreneurial organization structure. Because there's no advisor, there's no decision maker together. He does whatever he wants to do at all point in time. However, you ever see that particular structure made in the literature with a diagram, because it's like an amoeba. Amoeba does not have a regular shape. The same thing with entrepreneurial organization structure. There's no structure that you can see on ground physically, because the man will do whatever he thinks at any point in time that is correct, or the woman, anyway, as the case might be. So that is the first stage, creativity. And creativity is only him and is growing. So he look for what to sell, what is in the vogue. Where can I get product that can sell? Where is the market? He does everything on his own. Then it goes. The company will continue to grow like that until he get a particular place. He will need some people in charge of those things. For instance, you are a baker. You started with selling cheche, something like that. When you started now, only you produce like 4 bottles. You sell them, finish in an area. Somebody took around and no, come here now. Move to another environment. They started selling. Move to another environment. People started calling you. I want to do patio. Do this one for me. The demand started becoming more than what only you can do. Then you employ somebody to be producing for you. You say, this thing is nice now. Take it out now. How? Okay, you be advertising for me. You be marketer. Be selling somewhere else. You are selling somewhere. Somebody else is selling somewhere. Production need more people. You employ other people. By next week, that's supposed to be in Lagos. Last week I was in Abuja. I need to go. Okay, you be in charge of production. Be supervising this boy for me, like that. You are expanding. As you are expanding now, somebody is in charge of money. Another one in charge of marketing. Another one in charge of production. Who is the guy among them? Who is going to be the guy? The first crisis come. Because when it was only him, there's no challenge of human being. He do the things as he wants them and as the situation demands. Now you have people on ground. The one in finance say, if I got no then I mean day. I mean your guy say, if we no sell, if we didn't sell, do you go to have money? No, we that we sell, we are the orga. If I didn't produce, what are you going to be selling? The production manager says it's your guy. Say, okay, good. That is the first crisis of leadership. Crisis of leadership. Now, ability to resolve that is that there is now a structure on ground, the first formal structure we know. That is vertical organization structure, or what we call functional organization structure. Now you can recall what we discussed under functional strategy. You have functional organization structure, where you have the CEO on top. Then you have directors under, director of finance. director of marketing, director of production, director of this one like that. What we are saying is that each of them, they are oga in their places, but the power is not ultimate. The power there is not ultimate. Each of them, you tell them what to do. The finance, what to spend money on, who to pay, who to pursue to collect money. For production manager, you tell him what to produce at what time, what quantity, what are the recipe. For marketing manager, you tell him where to sell and how much to sell. Meaning that particular situation now, they have their leadership, but under direction. So that's what moved them to the second phase of growth. They call it phase 2. That is phases of growth through direction. Each of them know that they are leader now. The problem of leadership have been settled. They are at par, director, all you say GM, no problem. But each of them know that no oga among them except their superior oga. But each of them, they cannot do things on their own except oga give them direction. Tell them what to do. That's why that is the beginning of phase 2. That is period of growth through direction. The first growth is growth through creativity. The man is just thinking of anything. Now he has growth a particular said that only him cannot handle it. And the people that he put together, they become problem. You want to know oga, who is leading who? Okay, no. Each of them, you lead your subordinates. But I tell you what to do. That is the period of growth through direction, phase 2. Now the problem has been solved. Now they are growing again. They are growing again. Boo, 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 boo. As they are growing, they are spreading across. And you know, from our organization structure, that vertical, it go from top down. We call it tall, narrow. Under organization structure, we call it tall, narrow. Now it's growing. Information order come from above down to the whoever is the last person. Report or question come from below and reach up. Sometimes ability to take decision will take a longer time depending on the size of entity. And that's what led to the second problem. That's what led to the second problem. The one they said, the problem of autonomy. The problem of autonomy. Meaning that the people at the below, who are now the local managers, other than the oga, they understand the terrain where they had than the oga itself, which is possible. I think we see some advertisement before, because anyone want to expand a particular place, they will say ability to speak a particular language is an advantage. For instance, you want to have a branch in deep Hausa, northern states, you have the ability to speak Hausa is an advantage. You want to establish and expand the very place in Ogun State or your Osun, you ask the ability to speak Yoruba is a brand advantage. The same thing with ability to speak Igbo language like that, ability to speak French, meaning that those people, they will understand the terrain more than the oga in Abuja or in Lagos. Now, if you are telling them, oga is telling you an instruction what to do in your environment, it may not relate to what they have in the environment. Let me give you an example now in sales. In Lagos and Abuja, they pack their peanut bar in bottles, 5,000 naira. But somebody now is in Sambisa. Somebody want to buy bottle, they are not interested in buying bottle. Give me this small I can buy for 300 naira. Oga said their application is, their standard is sell in bottle. The man will be saying, this, you don't making sales. If this man will allow me to sell like I want to sell, if you not go to better, just verse one day like that. You go and get leather. He open one of the bottles. He sell like 15 bottles in one day. Then one bottle, they sales about 5,000 naira, he gain about 7,000 naira. Like that. He say, this one is better now. Oga can give him query. That is one. That is one in that environment now. So if Oga does not allow him to sell as he wants, there will be a crisis. That's what they call crisis of autonomy. Let me decide on what I want to do. Let me be able to make decision on what is reigning in my environment. That is the second crisis. Crisis of autonomy. Crisis of autonomy. because they understand that terrain more than the organ that is not from there. So they want to see that they're able to make decision on their own. If otherwise, the entity will not grow. Let me give another example. How many of us, okay, before this top up came, when we started loading data, 3,000, 2,000, and you want to buy card from somebody, you say, Madam, do you have 1,000 card? You say no. You say, oh, but do you have 500? You say no. You say, go. You cannot buy 100 naira, 10 of them or 20 of them be loading one by one. So you don't like it. I experienced something like that in in 2016 thereabout. One of my friends is a distributor of recharge card distributor. He produced. I just saw one day. I say, what is this? Is it a paper for advertisement? He said, no. That's what they sell. They sell a card, not paper. You need to scratch 10 naira. 10 naira. Like a joke. They even have a particular name for it, chicken. 1 minute, I didn't forget, 1 minute, 2 SMS. He said, wait, now, weekly at 4:30. Where they say the same city, but there is a city inside the city. That one, nobody will buy the chat card of 200 naira in that place. But that 10 naira, it can sell like 15,000 now. They will come like 3 times before the next. Take there, but 500 naira, nobody will buy till the next week. So if we say that our own selling, like the whole MTN is producing 10 naira research card. So meaning that marketer will understand the environment they are. Manager that's in local, understand the local environment than the orga. If you didn't give them autonomy to do what they want to do, their marketing in their size, there'll be problem. So that was actually related to the second problem of autonomy. Now, how do they solve that particular problem? They say, okay, be deciding on your own. You have a power not to decide, but that power is not absolute. The power is not absolute. Meaning that the second crisis now is crisis between the local manager and the top management. Now they want to solve the problem, but the manager to their average. Okay, take, but know that the power is not absolute. The authority we give you is not absolute, but it's a delegated authority. Whatever decision you make before you commence, report. Let us know. You make a decision. Let's be aware at the headquarters. Hey, problem solved. Now they can make decision on their own. They just need to actually report to the headquarters. So meaning that the third phase now commence when they resolve the problem of the second phase, which is problem of autonomy. Now they come to the phase 3, which is period of growth through delegation. You should not forget, they say the authority they have there is not ultimate, but it is a delegated authority. That was actually reflected in this phase 3. They say period of growth through delegation. Period of growth through delegation. Now, after they solve the problem, now organization is growing again. And they have left the former structure, which is vertical structure. Do not forget, the first structure is entrepreneur organization structure. When they solve that, after then they come to vertical. Now, because they are not delegated approach, each branch, each SBU can now decide on what they have on their own. They need to change the structure entirely to what they call horizontal organization structure or divisional organization structure, if you are still aware of the structure. If otherwise, we need to create a class to explain organization structure. The management will not be effective without effective organogram. So, but if you understand this, we can continue and flow to other area of knowledge. Now, you are able to solve that problem. They move to the third level, which is period of growth through delegation. They know that they have power. The power is not total. So they are growing too. Each divisional manager can handle its division. Each local manager can handle its local environment. There's no need to wait for the orga. You only need to report to the orga. Now they continue, they grow. Now, as they are growing, because now they can decide on their own, they are growing faster in the environment. They are more known in the local environment, meaning that they are gaining more ground than the people at the top. They are gaining more. People know them because that's what they see. Now, that's the company they see. That's the face they know the company to be. Now, the crisis that is coming now is crisis of pride. In the crisis of pride. The top manager now they say that, oh boy, they might lose the control of the entity because they don't know them. You know them again. It happens like that. When you have delegates, that is your face, a particular place, they will know the person more than you. Then the day you are going to assemble, they will say, they will be giving that person in your name. I've had that experience before. Where I work as an accountant then, up to 2016. One of our colleagues is going to represent the entity in the government organizations. Because of the nature of Nigeria, used to actually, okay, give this one, this one. When they enter, they called him the name of our company. As I'm starting, when the problem is escalated, I will follow him go, especially if he involve finances, accounting, tax like that. The day the managing director, the owner of the entity himself, went there, he was embarrassed. Because unfortunately, the name of the company related to their surname. When this our colleague just enter, they will call you, they say, no, this is the, you will point to the Oga. This is the, so by 2 seconds, the man was embarrassed. So they know you more than me. That's the same problem that happens here. They say, okay, you are the one they even give power to here. That's the power of control. If not because we are on here, I'll mention a particular one for one agency in Nigeria. One agency in Nigeria, one torchlighting agency in Nigeria. The same thing happened there. Somebody, the person, protocol person told me himself. That's the problem he has. They said, your guy said that wherever they go, they know him, the protocol officer, more than the Oga Kwata Kwata. So he removed from that position. Unfortunately, they removed the Oga Kwata Kwata too after. Anyway, that's by the way. So the crisis here is crisis of control. That the top managers are afraid that they can lose the control of the entity. So what happened again? Now, they've said that they'll be monitoring them now through reporting every time. Through reporting every time. Meaning that they will be reporting to the top at every point in time so that they will not lose the control of entity. Whatever we want to do, you must tell them, okay, when they make decision now, okay, okay, we agree, but let me tell you, Oga. So you have Oga? I have Oga now, I have Oga in Lagos now, I have headquarters in Lagos. Now, okay, problem is coming down small. That is what move to the next stage of growth. They call it phases of growth through coordination. Because there is a sophisticated reporting network now. Everything you must report. Okay, wait a minute. What are you going to do? Let me just send to my Oga, signal to Oga in. Okay, you have Oga in Lagos, no problem. You're able to settle the problem of control, and now they are not losing the control again. So now they're able to coordinate every level, every branch, every position, every station. That's what actually moved them to the next phase, phase 4, period of growth through coordination. Through coordination, meaning that there is establishment of sophisticated reporting system now. Everybody must report periodically, weekly, monthly, quarterly, like that. There must be reports. So that one too is going. Everybody is enjoying it. The guy on the top and the local managers. The growth continues to a particular extent. Another problem escalated. Which problem is that? Big man problem. Big man problem. They call it problem of red tape. Even in the social environment, you see something red carpet. Red carpet for VIP. So this particular problem now is VIP problem. Red tape. Why is it a problem? Because it's a culture. Sophisticated reporting system. You must be reporting. Even when you don't have anything to report, you must say that you don't have anything to report. You must report that you don't have a report. And it's natural. Up to now, it's natural. Under corporate governance, you must comply and say that you've complied. You comply with this particular best practices. If you are not complying, whether you are exempted, but you must state in the report that we are not complying because we are exempted. The same thing that, look, for instance, an auditor want to resign. it must state in the letter of resignation that I don't have anything related to this resignation that I want to bring you to your hearing, to your notice. Or if there is a problem, it must state the problem. So there must be a report must be there. Somebody told me that in their entity, anyway, it's public entity anyway, it is better for you to change the date on the last report than for you to say your report will not ready today. If you go to ready tomorrow, your report to go to ready tomorrow, you will receive a query. But we change the date on the last report, just print and submit it, then you are okay. What's the meaning of that? Meaning that it's just a bureaucracy. The need is not basically on that report. The need is that you must report. You say, okay. The manager now saying that instead of me to actually have this time, I don't have anything to report. It's not to be scratching everywhere to be saying I want a report now. It's not good for me to develop another market, to do more research, to do more marketing, to go and do after sales service. Why is this one now? That I say is a big man problem. And if the top manager does not consider them, just like we have under key players, they're going to be a problem. They say, okay, don't worry. There's a way to do it. To solve the problem of red tape, there's a way to do it. Instead of you to be reporting now, you'll be doing meeting. So the change in nomenclature, that was actually led to the fifth stage. That is phases 5. I'll be phase 5. This is phase period of growth through collaboration. Now, they are seeing, they are giving report, not as a report now. They see them as a teammate, not as a subordinate again. So everybody was happy because they see it as collaboration, not like coordination. The relationship of master servant is off. Unfortunately, I'm doing the same thing. When you are meeting, I'm going to give you report in your meeting. This is what we do. It's the same thing. But because the name have changed, they are enjoying the environment more. So the next period is period of growth through collaboration. Now everybody is saying this on. And truly, they were able to recognize them. Whenever they make any suggestion, they see as part of contribution to them. So then they are growing like that. At that period, in the beginning, I'm talking about the first stage, the first submission in 1970. Greiner'S said that there is no entity that have grown beyond that level. So the last level then was phase 5, as you see on the diagram there. Period of growth through collaboration. But subsequently, in the late 90s, 1998 specifically, Larry E. Greiner developed another, or you find out that there's another level, another crisis. That is the crisis of internal growth. The crisis of internal growth. That is, an entity cannot continue to grow on its own. Just like human being, you've grown tall. You're becoming fat. After anything, you can't grow again. You see you. Grandma will call you, say, Nneka. Or they say Shade. Or they say Fatima. I want to see my grandchildren. Though. Can only you produce grandchildren, either you're male or female. You need somebody else to be able to produce a child. So meaning that you cannot grow on your own again. That growth necessitates another party. So that is the 6th growth. To resolve the problem of internal growth, you need another person. That's why you have the next stage. This is stage 6, which is stage of growth through extra organization solution. Meaning that you need others to do what you are doing successfully and grow bigger. For instance, you see what they call networking, merger, acquisition, outsourcing, like that. Majority of the bank that we have nowadays, some of these staff like drivers, cleaners, it's not the staff of the bank because they don't want to hear that the soap don't finish. Somebody that want to meet the target, the money, the brand manager want to meet target. You're talking that soap finish. Soap finish over here. So majority of those staff, they are about another entity will be solving that particular crisis. So they need somebody able to do those things for them. Driving another industry. Okay, let me even come this one now. Those trailers that distribute Nigerian Person Company, Coca-Cola, it did not belong to Coca-Cola as a company. It's left entities. So Coca-Cola was in the, I think, late 80s. Let's face problem of marketing and fight our competitors. The problem of one trailer turn off, our bottle broke. I don't want to hear anything. Give to somebody else. So Limited took over the distribution around so that they can grow very well. So that is the stage of the growth of seed that we have up to now. So you can do outsourcing, you can do networking. At least we are aware and we have witnessed many times that banks, especially, they merge together. Company can acquire company. That is where entity can become bigger. You cannot be doing what they do. You know how to do it. You don't know. But when you actually acquire them, you are in control. But those people are still doing the one doing the work. That's the level or the stage that company are up to now. As I mentioned at that time, AI can introduce another one up to now. You don't have greater than that. If there's another crisis from this one, then you can think of the next stage of growth. So this is the sixth phase of the growth that resulted from problem 5, which is a crisis of internal growth. I think we have consumed our time to some level. I would like to pause here. If you don't have question, for us to continue from strategic clock the next class, or after we have resolved with the BCG. So if you have a question, let's receive. Otherwise, I can take permission to buy out.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for the lecture. I think Dari, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Thank you. You can unmute your mic.
Mr. Ibrahim, good evening. Good evening, sir. Our lecturers. We thank you. You have done a very good justice to the class, especially this the Greiner'S growth. I've gone through a lot of model during my CSMS class, but this particular one, I've not really seen a lecturer that break it down the way you have. It's a very wonderful job.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. So my appeal to you, sir, is that this last stage of the growth you mentioned, I'll be very grateful if our lecture note can be updated with that, so that even during our own private revision we can still go through it just the way we have it in this the number 1 to the 5th growth level.
Okay. Yeah, except the diagram. Except the diagram. But the note is there. Except the drawing alone that's ended at 5th. The 6th stage is in the note, yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Do we have any other question before we go? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes,
as
sir.
usual, we always enjoy your class at every time. Thank you so much. I know
Thank you for
you also I still remember vividly that you also taught me CSME then in ICANN class, and I can relate. Thank you so much, sir, for
before we grow and meet at the same level now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Do we still have any other question before we go, please? Okay, in the absence of that, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim.
Okay.
And thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and have a wonderful, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.